All right, state your names.
Ladies first.
I'm Becky Nestingen.
Gents Nestingen.
Let's turn you guys down. Strong voice. Did you see the meme I made about you the other day?
No.
You didn't see that?
No.
All right. It's a reel on Instagram. Notice I didn't check on that before I came here to talk.
Man, I did all my research and stuff. I was listening to your old podcast and stuff. I didn't check your memeage for me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Which
no.
ones do you listen to?
I went back and listened to Menton, and then I listened to your most recent one with the brown belt gentleman that lost like 150 pounds.
Yeah.
And then
Chris.
went and just kind of I surfed through the catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
So
the
I was hoping I was putting him on the spot and going to be catching him in a lie. Like, yeah, I listen to your show. Which ones?
No, dude, I'm going to tell you when I'm stupid. I'm not going to lie to you about it, though.
Yeah, we are kin in that regard. I perceive you guys as normal people. And what I mean by that is you coach some jiu-jitsu, but it's not your lifeblood. You don't own a gym.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're a married couple, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Kids come train with you.
Correct.
So you're a jiu-jitsu family.
Yep.
Normal people.
Very
Tell
much.
me about it.
Well,
I have a lot of gym owners. I have a lot of black belts. I have a lot of aspiring MMA guys. But I don't have my people. Like, just hobbyists enough. So
I don't know if you would call I guess from the outside world, this wouldn't be considered normal, right? Because who gets together and chokes their friends with their family?
everybody I know.
Yeah, right. That would be
Now.
a good level set, right?
Yeah.
But this is just something that I think we started 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 9 years ago we started. And it's just something, everybody's going to fall into something that takes their time up, whether it's like traveling hockey or you've got your beer league softball or, volleyball or whatever. And this just is something that the whole family kind of fell into and we all love doing. So we just kind of kept doing it and it just became kind of our normal. So, we spend a lot of time here. Rebecca spends the most time for sure. But we're all doing something with it pretty much every day.
Rebecca, why are you spending more time here than anybody?
Right now, I probably do the most training and coaching kids classes as well. So.
Yeah. Why the most training?
Somebody's got to stay home and get stuff going, and part of it too is I got my black belt 3 years ago, and that is by no means the end of the training I want to do. I haven't completed everything I want to do in the sport.
Yeah.
But in any family, there's got to be a give and a take. And if we both tried to coach and be here all the time as much as we both wanted to, our house would be in shambles. No one would eat, and our kids would run away.
Yeah. Well, pros and cons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Cheaper, much cheaper that way.
Well, but the authorities know we have them.
Did you say you landed here 9 years ago, but you're a black belt 3 years ago? You didn't start training
Yeah, I got every belt from Coach Tom.
in 6-7 years?
I got my black belt in 6 years.
Talking away.
Now,
But you had a wrestling
yeah.
background.
Now, and a caveat: I did wrestle from age 3 to 18.
Sure.
And I'm not a has-been wrestler. I'm a never was.
Yeah.
I'm not like a state champion. I'm not a state entrant. I didn't go to college and go to any major accolades. But wrestling was a really big part of my life for a really long time.
Yeah.
And
You came in with strong fundamentals.
yeah, I mean, I came in with call it 15 years of wrestling and 10 years of powerlifting, and that's kind of you're a power lifter, and strength is something decried in jiu-jitsu, but it's pretty helpful.
Yeah, only because people don't have it.
Right.
It's like I bitch about flexible, fast people.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that.
Yeah, great. And,
pretty
and
nice.
cardio. Stupid cardio.
Yeah. I was just explaining to white belts at Hamill the other day that tapping to your own cardio counts as a choke for the other guy. You couldn't breathe, so that's a choke.
Self-own.
Yeah, it's pretty much a cell phone, but cell phone. Rebecca, you just got a stripe.
I just got, 2 stripes actually. Yeah.
3rd and 4th?
2nd and 3rd. Yeah.
Getting close?
Yeah.
Getting close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of scary.
Is it cool, though?
It's cool. Yeah.
Is that the goal? Like you wanted to be a black belt when you joined up? Or were you just...
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Eventually. That was, it's kind of crazy that it's very, could be near future
Like how
as
much you
opposed to
hesitated
10
say
years,
that. Yeah, right.
away.
Yeah, it's fictional. It's 15 years from now.
Right.
What goes into being at the level you're at for you personally? Like, tell me about your jiu-jitsu journey a little bit, specifically yours.
Initially, I started here with a women's only class, just kind of got talked into it after sitting on the sidelines for so long watching kids class. And
Kind of the common tale, especially for moms, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
now I warn every single mom who comes in here that I'm going to try to talk her into trying out a class at least.
It is a cult, so
Yep.
yeah, well, welcome to it.
Yeah.
But like, is the process different for women? So you started in a women's only group. Tom was telling me that kind of faded away. And
Yeah.
The women just kind of wanted to be in the normal, the all people class. Give me a difference in the experience, because I've obviously never been to a women's only class.
Coach Tom actually had to kind of sit us down and say, look, you guys are training too intensely with one another. Someone's going to get hurt.
Okay.
And they
Because we
did.
were all like white belt kind of meerkats against each other. So,
Which is probably the opposite
Yeah.
of what people would have guessed that you would say, right? Like,
Yeah.
you would think it's girls, Mm-hmm. Not go that way.
no.
It was pure violence.
It did. Yes.
Yeah, it got out of pocket in a big way really quickly. And yeah, coach had to walk in and was like, "Hey, ladies, so settle down, or somebody's going to get really, really hurt." And then they were like, "What? We can't kill each other?" And then they just all left except Becky.
They all left? You didn't retain any of them?
Just Rebecca.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
the
all
last
right.
one standing, I think, from the initial
Yeah,
group that I
yeah.
started with.
And that's
So-
different, like, across the next, 6 or 7 years. That's different than losing everyone in 6 months or something.
Yeah.
Plus, he and I were chatting about it. The idea of jiu-jitsu is small guy can beat big guy. Women can defend herself against man, that kind of thing. So you kind of got to train with the dudes, no?
Yeah, I think so.
If a big goober like that is going to get squirrely in the street sometime, and you've never dealt with a big goober like that, that's not going to go well, right?
Yeah, it's good to test your skill against men if
Absolutely.
you're going to use it for self-defense.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
apply it, right? You guys ever cross-train the punchy, kicky stuff? Or are you all-time jiu-jitsu dorks?
I've done Muay Thai and MMA, and the striking is just such a different language. Like I started martial arts doing boxing. Like that was the first thing I did after wrestling, and it's just such a whole different thing, man. Like it's just my brain isn't wired to do it well.
Yeah.
Like I'm competent in it. I feel like I can do it, but if you given my druthers, I'm going to grab you by the head and put you on the ground. Like that's what I'm going to do.
You think that's bred into you or taught into you from all that wrestling?
I think it's training. Like my son, if you give him like his druthers, he's going to do Muay Thai before he does anything else. Mm-hmm. And he loves it. And it's fluid for him. He can see everything coming. He knows the combinations. He can set traps. And I'm just sitting there going like, if I land a punch, I'm going to hurt you. But the odds of me landing a punch are very small.
Yeah. So he can dance and you can't. That's why you wrestle.
100%.
For some reason in my head, I see strikers and I see guys that can dance.
Oh yeah, but that's
Which is why
valid.
it doesn't make sense. to
Yeah,
me.
it's 100% valid. And the best strikers in the world are the guys who are really fluid on their feet. But then when you get like the good dudes who, and you see it too, if you see a guy who's really good at Muay Thai, and then you take away that ground for him to stand on, all of a sudden he's like, "Please make this stop.
Yeah, it's
You're hurting
useless.
me, Mister."
Yeah. I used to do. I had a very brief internship years ago. Let's not count those. Where I did dry land training with hockey players.
Oh yeah, man.
And off of the skate, they're just useless. It was almost embarrassing. Like, you guys. Of course, you put me on skates. I'd have been absolutely useless too. Same kind of thing. You probably have a natural propensity towards things, but then also, what have you been trained into is probably your bottom line, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's probably true.
No,
Did you ever strike?
we've tried
No.
getting her. We almost had her getting to TBAs a couple years ago. She was thinking about it.
Yeah.
To what?
TBAs.
To jump right in and do it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, hitting the bags after class, for God's sake.
Yeah, I'll occasionally do like a fitness class, which
Yeah.
involves a little bit of striking and
Yeah.
on the heavy bags. But
You're not going to
no.
do it though.
No, probably
Not
not.
worth the concussions.
No.
No, she's the smart one. We got to rely on her brain. I don't really add much to the relationship. I just have a higher ambient body temperature and I drive better at night.
I can dig that. I drive better at night. Is that what you said?
I did.
All right.
I don't know.
Is it fun having the kiddos in class with you? Like, is it fun showing up here as a family? I mean, it seems like a dumb question.
Yeah, most days. Unless I want to drill extra after class, and then the kids are like, "Mom, we want to go.
Oh, sure.
Let's go get
sure,
dinner."
sure. When did they start with you, or was it like a let's convince the kids to show up later?
So my son and I started together, and then I think Claire was 3. And then we waited till her 5th birthday and we got her a gi. And so they've both been trained since they were about 5, which is probably too young.
Tell me why.
I don't know. I think if kids can get burnt out quick, and especially with something as technical as jiu-jitsu, it's really hard to get good, and there's not that immediate feedback, and you're kind of progressing at the same level as everybody at the same time, so you don't see you're getting better. And especially as a young person with like a really limited attention span, it just feels like you're getting your ass kicked for years until you understand what's happening, and then by that time you're so tired of getting your ass kicked you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Or you've long left at that point, is what
right.
you're saying.
And so I think it's just,
That's
if I could go back and do it
interesting
again, I'd probably wait till they were about 8 to get them started.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. They barely know how to wipe their ass at 5. Like, let's not complicate it.
It's sort of an organized tumbling class at
Pretty
that
much.
level,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
good.
You can teach them movements, and
But, I mean, so far, we only lost that one kid, but the authorities don't know about it. It's fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop it.
Right. No, nothing's illegal till you get caught. I like how you're like, stop it. I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, she was dreading this. She's like, you're going to be on the record.
I can send it for approval, editing approval. Because the kids' classes, they kind of, you tick in the box. Like, yep, you checked in this many times, you get a stripe. It's a recognition of showing up and doing the thing. But to your point, it's not really who's better, who's not. Because it can't be really like...
Yeah, a lot of times we base stripes off of like even basic skills like listening. How well are you listening and paying attention in class? So
Yeah, what's
so
your attitude?
nobody's getting those stripes. these days.
it's very hard.
I certainly wouldn't have got those stripes. What would you do instead between 5 and 8?
Just let them run. Like, go do a bunch of different things. Like,
Yeah.
not be hyper-focused on one
Sure.
thing. Like...
Buy a skateboard, have fun.
Yeah, buy a skateboard, play lacrosse. Like our kids both played baseball or t-ball for a season, and that was a goat rope. But just give them a chance to try something. Because the thing about this, especially with like you mentioned the normal people,
Yeah.
I think most normal people their kids probably would have done a bunch of different things. And like our family is, you're going to do jiu-jitsu as long as I'm paying your bills. Period. Because I think for young men, you need that physical outlet. And for young women, you need to protect yourself against young men. Mm-hmm. And so that's just non-negotiable. And then, like our daughter plays basketball and she's really into guitar. And our son, is hyper into wrestling and lifting weights and things. But I think a lot of other kids, normal kids, would have had like a lacrosse practice or two. Or they would have gone to like a football game or something. And we're just like grappling.
Alternative thought, a lot of normal kids wouldn't have been pushed into anything.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
That's just a crappy way to raise kids.
I agree, but I was that kid. Like I never had any pressure to do anything. Didn't play football or work out or anything till like 15.
You're huge. How did you not play
I
football?
caught up fast, bro. I started at ninth grade.
Okay.
But up until then, I mean, I
No
was
organized
this body
sports?
weight in 8th grade, and then 100 pounds lighter in 9th grade because I was like, okay, we got to do this. But I decided to do it.
Were
Like,
your
it
first
wasn't-
words fee fi fo fum?
Give me a Hostess cupcake. But like, I guess that's my point. Is the other version of the normal family is not doing anything. There's gaming and there's sitting and there's Netflix and
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, everyone finds their hobbies, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think
I guess I'm saying I like the version you did as a normal family
right.
better than what I just brought up. Like, oh, could have played football and this and that. That's fun too. But
Yeah, I don't know. The parenting thing with this, I think the amusing thing is for years and years and years, she fought me on this tooth and nail. Like, I wanted to fight when we got married at 21. She's like, no, you can't fight. We're not doing it. And then once I got every excuse out of the way, she's like, fine, you can go. But I don't expect me to do it. And I was like, cool, I don't. I'm just going to go and have fun. And then like 4 months later, she's there. And then fast forward 9 more years and she trains right next to me.
Yeah.
And so I think
she's
like,
an expert.
yeah, oh, she's
Right.
far and away an expert. Far and away.
My how things changed. Now, it wasn't that she was wrong about those things. Who wants their spouse to be getting punched in the head? Come on, fellas, that's an interesting career path. Like, let's be honest. So she was right in a way. But
it worked out. But I think, when we got married and we had kids, the idea of that like normal family where like the dad sits around and plays fantasy football and watches Sports Center and goes to bed, like that was just never going to be in the plan for us. She's a way more accomplished athlete than I am. Team captain for her track team, ran cross country 3 out of 4 years in college. set the record in steeplechase in college. Like, just
only because I was the first person
hey, it's
to
still
run
a record.
it.
It's still a record.
Yeah, nobody else did it. It's almost better. Not only did I not beat anybody, but like no one even tried up until now. That's amazing.
But I don't think there's ever going to be a point where we sat around and just didn't do anything. That, I don't know. We never talked about it, but we just
Yeah,
kind of fell into it.
Yeah.
That's not the energy level you guys have.
No.
Good for you. Good for you. You still run?
No.
I was a thrower. I'm surprised you weren't a thrower. That's
No.
meathead shit.
Yeah, but I had to work. So I played football and wrestled, and then I had to make money spring and summer.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Yeah, only
Much-
one force too.
What's that?
I said I only run one force too.
Right. From what? I can fight now. I don't need to run. Yeah, that's a
Turns
good
around to
call.
pulls guard. Running's dumb.
Where's your record at? Where did you run?
I ran collegiately at UW Platteville, Wisconsin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that WIAC? That's serious business.
Yeah,
Nice work.
WIAC's a really
That's
great
impressive.
conference. So
Yeah, I applied for a couple of them schools back in the day. Did you ever fall flat on your face in the steeplechase? In the pool?
no,
No? You were never
No,
the blooper
thankfully.
reel?
no,
It seems like a tough event. Is that a really tough event?
it was pretty miserable.
It's like
yeah,
grueling. It's
yeah,
weirdly
3,000
grueling.
meters going over like enormous. Well, not high, but just very solid hurdles.
Periodic disruptions of your running rhythm. That's
Yeah.
the problem with it. Like, you got to jump over a thing, but running's all about disappearing into your brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then, now I got to jump over this thing. I'm going to step in a puddle, etc. Like, it seems way harder.
Well, I think the biggest issue with steeplechase in particular, not to go off on a steeplechase
Let's
tangent,
do it. People love this.
is originally it involved a horse. And they were like, let's take the horse out and make people do it.
Is that true? Is that categorically true?
Yeah.
This was just
Yeah.
a horse event?
Yeah,
Because
it's
it's all warfare. Track is all
It's
warfare.
a steeplechase. Like they like you see like the dudes in the stupid hats and the funny jackets on a horse doing the same shit, and then they're like, "Well, it's way easier on a horse. Let's just take the horse away." So it's like it's aristocratic racing for the poors.
Yeah, you give somebody a $500 semester scholarship and they'll jump over this
Right,
pool.
yeah. Let's see what we can make the idiots do.
What a scam sports are. My goodness. Zero running. Do you like categorically jiu-jitsu better than the other sports you've done, both of you?
I guess, yeah, it's been the one we've done the longest.
Yeah, I don't think there's a sport I've done that I'd rather do in lieu of jiu-jitsu. You can't consider like drinking beer a sport, and like jiu-jitsu doesn't piss her off, and drinking beer does. So yeah, this is probably good.
There's the intro to the episode. Put that right up front. It's a good line. Good line. How long are you going to do it?
I don't know.
Most of us say forever, but once in a while I'll get a curious answer.
Right? Till the wheels fall off, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's at least from my perspective, being able to like be a coach and see things coming on. Like my accolades, personally, I don't really care about because they don't matter. It's a fucking bowling trophy. Like that's the thing people don't really talk about.
Right.
Is like everybody thinks we do karate, and the people who do understand jiu-jitsu still don't care about the medals or accolades.
Yeah.
But the younger group coming up, I want to be around long enough to see them complete their goals and help them do what they want to do in this sport, and however long that takes me, I'm here for the ride because we've got some really cool young people coming up that I think are going to do some really cool things, and I want to be here when that happens.
Yeah. Well, and to the point previously about like your wrestling pedigree fed into a rapid success rate in jiu-jitsu. Imagine if you spent those years training jiu-jitsu.
Right? Or, I mean, but the thing, like grappling is grappling,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So I think anytime you can be focused in on grappling, you're going to get better at grappling as a whole. And so watching, especially these young guys, like, the people behind us training, we've seen some kids go from like just recalcitrant assholes to just fantastic young people with great skills.
Are there recalcitrant assholes with great skills?
Dude, this is jiu-jitsu. Yes.
Yeah, of course there is. Of course there is.
Yeah. What, autism and steroids combined?
Right.
We
And then
are-
the ability to kill people quietly in the corner.
Right. Or
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Rebecca, what was your favorite belt? Favorite phase of training, maybe?
I don't know. They've all had their upsides.
Tell me
Purple
about
was pretty fun, though. I think, it's kind of that middle belt where you know enough stuff to be dangerous, but there's not too many targets on your back.
it. Yeah. You feel like you have a lot to learn still.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have a lot to learn? You're a black belt.
Oh, I've never felt dumber in this sport.
Okay. It never gets better, does it?
No, the more you know, the more you realize. Like, just her, like, she'll come home and she'll be like, man, have you seen this, like, super flying dog De La Hiva reverse octopus guard? And I'm like, no. She's like, here, let me try it on you. I'm like, my body doesn't work that way. I am meat and potatoes. So I'm going to, like, break your guard and go forward.
Octopus guard's pretty cool, though. You were just spitting there, but let's talk about Octopus Guard for a second.
Be gone, spirit of Tom Benton.
Yeah.
Be gone.
Oh, yeah. Fucking tripod sweep.
Yeah. Yeah. No, let's talk about close guard. It's not sexy, but it works.
It does?
Yes.
Close guard has not once worked for me, ever.
How is that even possible? Like, physiologically.
It doesn't, I don't know. I play little guy stuff, I guess. I don't know.
You're one of those? Like, you're in denial about being huge?
Close guard, I'm a little tiny daisy. Close guard, I'll land in close guard, and it's like, oh, okay, let's go to knee shield.
And just open up right away.
Yeah.
Oh, do you do mostly gi or no gi?
Mostly gi.
Mostly gi. Really? And close guard doesn't, and you just automatically open and go to a knee
I
shield?
hate it. Is that wrong?
No,
you're not the first to look at me like I'm out of my fucking mind.
I mean, listen, this is safe space. Nothing is wrong. Tell me your true feelings, Matt.
There's children around. Let's not go too far.
I didn't ask about what you do with Hot Pockets,
You said
homeboy.
it was a safe space. I love Hot Pockets. Don't you dare.
I can tell.
Don't you? Yeah.
No,
but legitimately, you're the big old dude with the gray beard, grayish beard, sorry, that
no, trust me, I'm not getting better looking.
Close guard, sweep, keep it simple.
Yeah, I mean, my jiu-jitsu is like hooked on phonics jiu-jitsu. You know, like we boil it down into like clapping for syllables and stuff.
Yeah.
You know? But I really try to keep it basic because it just, I can flow from one thing to another. But, you know, again, a guy like Tom Mentner, Jake Anderson. Jake Anderson's kind of my, you know, he's a black belt here at the gym. And I learned from him that close guard is really versatile, you know, and you can use it to set up that knee shield. And I think one of the things I see that frustrates me the most as a coach is when people they won't hit the transition steps to go to things like knee shield. Like if you stop in close guard, shake the shit out of them for a little bit, get them discombobulated. Then when you open for that knee shield, that sweep is right there. Yeah. Versus when you get to close guard, you and open, then you get a small squirrely guy. What's he doing?
Let me write this down. No, I take your point. Like, it's all application.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell you like to play, it's application.
Right.
What's your favorite phase, sir? She said purple belt. By the way, like everybody else, that's like the stock answer. As a purple belt, I disagree so far. But.
You know, I think just from a pure like enjoyment perspective, I think like that 3-stripe white belt into entry-level blue belt was probably the most fun I had on the mat because I didn't have any expectation. You know, I was gonna suck, and so when I didn't, or I did marginally less bad than other people, I was like, "Oh, this is dope." And then when the expectation hits, when you hit that purple belt, and you're like, "Shit, dude!" Like, people look at me when they ask me questions I don't have answers to. I don't like this.
Well, the advantage there, if they're asking you, they have no idea. You can just tell them whatever.
100%. 100%. The amount of people I've gotten to put thumbs where they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Oh, it's no gi. You can grab the shorts. It's all good.
Yeah. Do you know what an oil check is? No? Let me show you.
I disagree with your answer entirely. I hated that phase.
Why?
Because I didn't have 15 years of wrestling to fall back on. Like, I knew I was getting my ass kicked, and that was the end of the story. You at least had a top game. Am I wrong here?
Oh, no. I mean, dude, the first day I came into jiu-jitsu, like, that's when my wrestling didn't matter. My wrestling, like, anybody who tells you wrestling really matters in jiu-jitsu, it does later. But do you know Pada Bomb?
Yeah.
Okay, so Pada Bomb was my first role.
Okay.
Ever. And I came in.
Are you okay?
I was 245 pounds, powerlifter, like just coming off a powerlifting competition, just gorilla.
That's why Pada Bomb was your first role.
Yeah, coach looked at me, looked at him, and then he was like, "Go for it." So I shot, and then shot with my head down, and Pada Bomb just olayed me, put me in a guillotine, and then popped my head off, and held onto it until I was like, "I'm gonna die."
Yeah.
And that happened like 7 more times the next 30 seconds.
I bet it did. It sounds familiar.
But the reason I liked it wasn't because I was any good, but it was like I can see where it can go.
Right.
And now that I've kind of on the backside of that, like I'm not going to develop a new A game anytime in the near future. Like now it's just it's fun, but it's not as like the uncertainty isn't there, you know?
What do you think of his answer?
She's going to disagree.
3-stripe white belt. How were you liking that life?
Oh, I think that was kind of like the jiu-jitsu honeymoon period where it was just like you're totally in love with this new hobby and you're
Got a
like,
case of the white belts?
Yeah, the case of the white belts.
Should I get this keychain? What about this white
I know,
belt
you
tattoo?
plaster your entire water bottle with all the jiu-jitsu stickers you can get your hands on, and
Change
I could
your
see
Instagram
where that would be.
handle.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
That's a blue belt move. So I like your answer, though, because it's just euphoric. It's like a dopamine hit every day. You're like, this is fun and new. That's got to be a female thing.
maybe.
Not in
I
a
don't
bad
know.
way. Not even just in like a more of a positive outlook to it, where I was like, me and the other guys going to war for some fucking reason, even though we don't know what we're doing. And then we both realize how bad it sucks.
And then you realize like people aren't talking to you anymore, and then when you go to roll, like everybody disappears around you, and like shit.
Yeah. That's the smell, though.
I don't know. It's kind of fun being a novice at something, and like it's good to suck at stuff for a while and figure new things out.
Yes. That's actually one of my favorite elements. I've talked about it a bunch, I think, but like stepping into a thing as someone who had coached other stuff, I had kind of moved on to coaching powerlifters and this and that. It was a great experience, frankly, to be new guy again because of all the other sensations and feelings and thoughts, like the doubting and the self-consciousness and all that of just being new and completely clueless in a room full of people that know what they're doing, even though most of them don't. Mm-hmm. But like that's what I dug about like 3-stripe white belt. It was like, holy crap, I have no idea what I'm doing. And all those sensations like clients and stuff had told you about of walking awkwardly into a gym or whatever, you could kind of reconnect with humans a bit. Because being top dog at any gym, be it powerlifting or jiu-jitsu or whatever, you forget how bad that part of it sucks.
Well, and that's one thing about jiu-jitsu too, is like powerlifting is a great example. You can never leave the state, and you can be, you can say my Wilks coefficient is this, and I'm king shit. My bench is 500 pounds, and nobody's gonna rival you, right? I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm a big dude, and there are a bunch of people smaller than me that would whip my ass.
Yeah.
Like there is no top end. The top end of this is so far removed from reality that all the black belt means is like you've got some expertise that you can pass on.
Yeah.
But
you could probably teach some stuff to a blue belt.
Yeah. I think you would be less bad at jiu-jitsu if I talked to you at a class once.
Yeah. We'll put that on the business card. You'd be less bad at this if we get you one time.
You'll be marginally less terrible.
Yeah. But I framed it as like a coaching thing, but just from a humanity standpoint, like, not to go there, but as a matter of empathy for like people doing hard stuff and coming on hard times, like shit is uncomfortable. And this is a nice, cute example of being reminded how uncomfortable things can be. But I think it's good for us.
Yeah.
Do we have empathy, honey? Is that something we do?
You don't, but
Oh, fuck.
I did have to Google it. Earlier,
My word of the day on my tear-off calendar was empathy.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of work, though.
Right?
Can you guys give me advice? It can be for jiu-jitsu. It can be for specific belt ranks. Whatever you want. Frame it however you want. Start with you. I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's say I just walked in here to start training jiu-jitsu. What are you going to guide me with?
I usually tell people the warm-up is the worst part. If they can make it through that, then the rest of it's pretty simple. So I'll give them kind of a fair warning, like make it through the first 15 minutes of class and it gets easier.
Yeah. Why? So. Expand on that.
I think after that, the nerves kind of start to wear off a little bit. We usually try to pair new people up with someone more experienced.
You have a great blend in the class here. That was awesome.
Yeah, and then so usually someone more experienced will work through with a new person with the drilling, and take it pretty easy. We like new people to continue and come back for another class, right?
Yeah,
So
come back, for God's sake. What I was hinting toward is the standard jiu-jitsu warm-up, like 2 lines, 3 lines going up and down the mat, and then everybody lines up along the wall to do the next thing, and it's weird stuff like a side roll, which still doesn't exist, I'm assuming.
I don't believe so.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen some people do it,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's ever had an application.
I've never done it. I've never successfully once done a side roll. Or like shrimps. Like you've just never moved that way. So the first thing you confront in most jiu-jitsu classes is effectively a humiliation ritual.
Well, if you
Like
think
you're in front of a whole group of people that as far
Kind
as
of.
you know are experts, and you like do my what to my what? It's just the weirdest, most awkward thing ever.
I really genuinely think a lot of warm-ups are just based on shit coaches like to make people do for fun. I mean, like if I'm running a warm-up and I'm in a weird mood, you're going to do a bunch of weird stuff that you don't, just simply because I think it's funny to watch a bunch of adults do stuff I tell them to.
Yep. All those, we got 3-4 200-pound middle-aged cop white belts at Hamel. They've all done cartwheels.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a squirrely mood and we're doing cartwheels. Sorry, boys.
Exactly.
And I got it on film and everything.
Yep.
I dig it, but I think your answer is actually spot on. Like the first part of this is going to be the most awkward, literally. Plus the sensations are all there. So suffer the first 15 and then break away and have some fun. That's good advice.
yeah.
How about you, fella? Give me some advice.
If I'm stay away from YouTube, for the love of God, please
No.
stay away from YouTube.
No.
Like
Except for the
Episode
podcast.
over. How dare you? How dare you?
now, in specific, like cat videos are cool. Watch all the car videos you want to. Look at like grandma's cooking videos. But please, stay away from YouTube for like instructional technique. If you're looking to go like sharpen things up that you learned in class, that you've actually seen applied firsthand, and you want maybe like a refresher on how to do that, or maybe some fine tuning, great.
Or what it's called. What the hell was that called?
Yeah, but you see these kids walking in, and I've lost track of the amount of times like, hey, when are we going over a flying armbar or a triangle, or can you show me a berimbolo? I'm like, dude, I watched you fall over putting slides on.
Yeah.
Okay? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not teaching you anything that's going to create a concussion for you that you didn't earn.
Yeah. I think I agree with that entirely. Mostly because you drown yourself.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's cool. All that. There's lots of fun, spicy stuff out there. But like, repeat what he showed you today.
Yeah.
Come back to it again tomorrow.
Right. And then
'Cause
do
you-
that ad nauseum.
Which is like the boring answer. It's now powerlifting. Bench again. Bench again.
Right.
Bench again. But like, you almost have to earn the diversity of movements.
Well, and the funny thing is, and especially like you guys are like brown belt, purple belt, so you guys are legitimate experts at this. You guys have the expertise to be able to tell you what works and what does not. And now you understand more techniques. You understand how to implement more techniques. But there comes a time when your focus starts to go in, and you ignore the shit that you don't do, even though you understand it. And so the weird part is the efficacy never changes, but you're going to apply less and less of the weird shit the deeper into the jiu-jitsu you get.
Rephrase that.
The better you get at this, the less techniques you use.
Why?
Because why would I go out of my way to expend a bunch of energy on something stupid when I know I can set a trap for you in 3 moves, I'm going to get to where I want to be anyway?
Yeah. So you're saying, even more abstractly, you're saying it's a conscious decision. Like, yeah, I know all this stuff, but here's what's going to work right here, right now. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah, that must feel good, right? To feel that confident in an A game.
I
I'm like, I'm like doing this a lot.
I have 6 moves,
Yeah.
period. And you'll stop one of them, and then we'll get to somewhere else, and I'll re-implement it. And that's just the way the funnel kind of works.
Everything funnels to close guard, drag an arm across, take the back. rear naked choke.
Yep. Go for a sweep, land in side control, leave you there till you feel like quitting, and then take what you give me.
Yeah.
High calorie, baby.
God bless side control.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss. Topside crucifix. We're gonna nerd out over big guy
Case
shit here.
Katami.
Yeah, old school, huh?
Case Katami. That's my all-time, like, if you have frustrated me or you're a new person that doesn't quite understand the game yet,
Yeah.
we're going to spend a lot of time with your diaphragm not
I was
working.
gonna say, let's test out that rib cage.
Yep.
I just like they can sneak like the one arm Americana and just mess with
yeah.
your chin for. I just like the freedom of
Of-
that topside
right.
crucifix stuff.
Kind of that old school, what was that dude's name? Big Daddy Goodrich? who got the guy in the side or the crucifix and just elbowed him
Yeah,
until
yeah.
he died.
Back up.
Yeah. Come to find out, the guy had actually no martial arts experience, and that gi was just for show.
Is that true?
Yeah. He's like, I don't know what the fuck I was doing.
How'd it turn out? Big picture. That's wild.
Yeah.
Is that real?
A Jackson podcast, he was on there with Rampage, and he was like, yeah, dude, I had no idea what I was doing. I just signed up.
Bro.
And I landed there, and I was like, I'm going to elbow you till you forget how to read.
That is a reminder. There's always a bigger and badder motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
The huevos to even just do that and end up losing, it's still mad respect.
I mean, the 80s and 90s were wild times.
It's different. A lot of Coke. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Coca-Cola, new Coke, etc.
Coke
Kids
Crystal.
around. Oh my god. What do you like? What's your game? I heard. What are you guys talking about? Dirty jiu-jitsu moves, wrist locking kids and stuff.
No, we don't wrist lock kids. Only my own kids.
Yeah, we definitely wrist lock our own children, for sure.
Beautifully off camera, right as you said that, one of them was picking their nose. It was hysterical. We don't wrist lock kids. She's over there. What do you like? What's your game?
I'm usually like a bottom player for the most part. So a lot of open guard stuff I've been working. A lot of butterfly guard. Trying to play around with a lot of transitions into the legs lately.
Mm-hmm.
So
She's treating it like a sport. You treat it like bullying.
Oh, it's funny you mentioned that. One of the guys I used to train with said, he asked me if I had learned all my jiu-jitsu from shit a 6th grade bully would do. And I was like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, 80s coming of age movies. That's where I learned to fight.
Absolutely. And they weren't bullies. They were stewards of culture.
Yeah. Oh, God. He's leaning in on this. You going to that Wardzinski seminar then?
the what?
The Wardzinski seminar?
No, I didn't know that was coming up.
Butterfly.
We're
Yeah.
probably busy that day, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Problem with all that shit, it's all on the same damn day.
Yeah.
Same part of the year and always on the same Saturdays.
Yeah.
I watched a bunch of his matches on YouTube. Am I allowed to look at YouTube now? Purple?
Yeah.
Okay. I watched a bunch of his and then like hit my first sweep from butterfly guard ever, despite never really diligently drilling it or paying attention to it. I just like took it as osmosis.
So
It's the coolest thing ever. in my
You really
opinion.
play like half guard then, like bottom half.
Mostly like Z guard knee shield stuff.
Yeah.
You get some collar sleeve action going on.
Yeah, you could transition that pretty nicely into like a butterfly, especially as you get people moving.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
That was the thing about it is I'm watching the best in the world. Okay, let me just take that and run with it. But I was watching it going, why don't I do this? And I just wasn't even thinking about it and kind of hit one the other day. And it was like, oh, there's some magic to like
This is
knowing
pretty sweet.
any of this. And then you
Right.
just kind of slowly pick up the rest of it. It was pretty magical. What are you, sweep kid then? Get on top, finishing the mount?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like playing top mount game when I can manage to get there. So it took me a long time to figure out how to hold someone in mount as a smaller grappler,
But
grappling
it's
with larger
gangster
men.
when
But
you do it.
yeah, I do prefer, like still holding someone down in side control. I hate doing, but
Why?
Why? Just being a smaller opponent typically. Like I
Tiny
find I would
people
rather
hold
be
you
in
down all the
mount.
time. Yeah. You got all the pounds working for you there. Yeah, he likes Katame because he's heavy exclusively. He's probably technically good at it, but it's a heavy guy thing.
Yeah.
See, I don't like mount. I don't feel terribly stable in mount.
No, I hate mount. I very rare.
Are we top heavy? Is that the thing?
Well, I will use mount exclusively to get to mother's milk.
I mean, where else?
Like exclusively to do that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't. I'll use mount to cook people, but I'm not going to launch an offense from there because my hips I don't have the hip mobility to do it.
Bro, the internal, external, and like, I got nothing.
No, dude, something's going to snap.
And also very top heavy, so then I take away some support.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, I have big head little-legitis. I really need my base.
We got a lot of shirts out of this episode. We'll write these down.
You're recording.
Yeah. There's no film in that. But we'll see. I'm going to say, I'd rather go neon belly and not even heavy neon belly.
Oh,
Again, to the little guy stuff, big dude feeling more comfortable with little guy stuff.
see,
Like this little gal here is like, I want to be on top mount. I'm like, what?
yeah.
People throw me off of there.
Well, but she's kind of a koala when it comes in. Like once she gets to that top mount position, it's like a squid attaches itself to your face, and it's just you're trying to fight all the tentacles, and it's just not going anywhere. Like you can move a lot, but she's still there.
Yeah. Whereas you and I get up there and we're like, I'm heavy. Why isn't this holding you down?
Yeah. Well, and that's when I did King of the World today, and that's one of my all-time favorites.
To explain it.
So, like, if you got
Just
somebody, if you take somebody's back and you get your hooks in, and then you just extend your hips all the way down and put your hands out, and then you go, I'm king of the world, while you're just grinding their lower back into the mat, and then you bounce their head off the mat for a little bit.
Oh.
It's awesome.
Was his name Jack?
Yep.
Make Jack proud.
Yep. And then and then you whisper in their ear, I'm going to paint you like one of my French girls.
It's bullying. He's a bully. I don't often look into the camera, but this is just bullying. I'm never rolling with you.
I am soft as a summer breeze.
I'm here for a good time.
Then definitely don't roll with her.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's got those tiny little knuckles that'll she'll Ezekiel you to death.
You're pointy.
Oh yeah, she's super pointy.
This is the worst. Your knee on belly's probably worse than mine.
Yeah, because she can touch your spine through your stomach.
Yeah. Skinny knee on belly. No, thank you. You guys got goals? I mean, you want to get your black belt. You want to keep training. You want the kids to do well. Gonna compete again someday. Gonna open a gym someday. What's the goals with all this? Since you're normal people, what are normal people's goals in jiu-jitsu?
You want to go first?
No.
Okay.
You mentioned competing. I figured you just run with that.
Yeah, I'd like to compete again.
When'd you last compete?
Oh, I think it was...
Indianapolis? Or did you compete since then?
I competed locally last year sometime. I don't remember, but... yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe this summer.
Which one? Put it on record. Let's get specific.
Maybe Ritsu.
Oh, there you go. Super fun. Get a bracket and a super fight. Which is a great way of doing that, you know.
I'm done competing. I had my knee replaced 2 years ago, so the juice just isn't worth the squeeze to compete anymore.
Yeah.
But I think like my goal is to help her do everything I can to get her strap, because I know that's something she's working for. So right now that's the goal and the focus is to do everything I can to stay out of her way enough that she can train enough to get to that stepping stone. Yeah. And then beyond that, it's just there are some really awesome young people that are here. And I want to help them get to where they want to go. And that's, so my goal is just be available and competent and ready to help them.
I dig it. That kind of leads me to something I should have said earlier. Typically, I would. Tell me about this place. Because you guys are lifers in this building with Tom. Shout out the gym. Tell me about this place.
I mean, we've been here almost a decade. And, we've seen, just like any gym, we've seen, people come and go. There's an ebb and a flow. But the one thing that I like the most about this is the jiu-jitsu's super consistent. And no matter who has trained here or who, either they're done training or they're going somewhere, like you can always tell when they come from Spartan because it's meat and potatoes jiu-jitsu. We're not fancy. We don't get into like a bunch of weird shit, even though Coach just said flying armbar behind me. That was a joke. But it's all meat and potatoes jiu-jitsu, but it's done at such a high technical level that you really can get some quality grappling fundamentals here, and then that just permeates through. And we've got a great culture here. Jake Anderson's been here he's been here 16 years next week, and we're here 9. And then we got some other people who've been here kind of that similar tenure. So we've got a nice culture of like the old heads and the unks that can kind of keep this from becoming the fight pit it once was. Mm-hmm. And we can turn out people that have really solid jiu-jitsu, good fundamentals, and they're good people.
It sounds like that's kind of where his head is at too, Tom. We were chatting about it a little bit and talking about the evolution of the gym, how it was real heavy on like fighters, like guys that wanted to go fight, and it's a little bit more, what do you call it, like super serious hobbyists.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The everyday guys that don't compete, but they're gangsters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful part about it is there's not a ton of ego in the room. Like we've got some brown belts that can come in here and just wreck shop. And nobody's like, man, I can't, it's more of a crank. It's like, no, you're legit good.
Yeah.
Like I got my lunch eaten today on a shot off one of our teens. Like he's just a stud wrestler, and he super ducked me, and I was caught going, huh? And I was like, that was awesome.
Nice.
So it's the culture is really good. Ego's not real prevalent, and I think our jiu-jitsu is really, really good.
You got goals, personal goals that you'd like to see the kids achieve in this stuff?
No. I've maintained for a long time I'm not going to live through anybody's kids. But if they tell me what their goals are, I will kill myself trying to get them to there.
Yeah.
So, and we've got some kids that they want to go D1, and hey, man, I'll do whatever I can to help you do it.
The worst thing that happens is you don't, and you wouldn't have anyway if
Right.
you didn't set the fucking goal. So,
Yeah. But if you're D3 All-American, it's still pretty damn good.
honestly, a JV high school wrestler, it's pretty damn good. You look around at the population.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what
It's
I'm
a
saying?
low bar, but yeah.
Well, but I mean, that's the main bar. Like, there was people were throwing out stats of like if you make it to blue belt in jiu-jitsu, you're this. And I'm like, of the jiu-jitsu community, you're this percentage. Of the world, you're like a 1%er.
right.
You know
or
what I
less
mean?
than,
Like,
yeah.
if you think about it, think of how elite a purple belt or a brown belt is. It's ridiculous. So that for your kids to achieve whatever the hell the kids belt equivalent would be, who knows the kids belts? But like, it's an amazing
I do know
thing. Minus like weird, parental pressure. It's an amazing thing. Who cares? Let them get to where they get to. Of course, I don't have kids. So.
Oh, then you have free time and money. Enjoy that.
Oh, but I don't have ambition either. So I just have a lot of free time, is what that means. All right, closing thoughts? Anything in particular? It was a fun little chat.
Beck?
Call anybody out?
Yeah.
No.
I
No call-outs, yeah.
What? No. We talked about that one person, No closing thoughts, honey?
No.
No, hey, thanks for coming in, man. It's good to
cool.
see you, and
Yeah.
thank you for making time, and I think this is really good for the community at large, just getting a little because I was going through your catalog, and I didn't realize like how many UFC fighters there are here.
It's silly.
It's wild.
Yeah, and I'm chatting on and off with a couple of the previous guys, like Sean Shirk. We were going to record last week. Something came up, got to reschedule it. But like, the history of UFC is here too, embodied by a few people. And then just the original thing was just, I'm going to record with all the black belts. Well, that was in like 2020. There's now like 700 more than there were,
Right.
So
Yeah.
then it turned into maybe gym owners, and I'm just going to talk with everybody. Let's just have some fun with it. But it is cool because like you show up to like We Defy open mat at such and such gym, and you roll with some people, and you kind of recognize this guy, you kind of recognize that guy. You don't know any of these people.
Right.
That's the fun thing about it, kind of getting to know people a little bit.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree. But thanks, man. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Appreciate
And then I chatted with the big guy, the other big guy. We'll probably have him on too.
Oh,
It took me too long to get over here.
the
so-
bald ginger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the big boss.
The boss.
Oh,
The boss
Big
man.
guy. Tom himself. Yeah. Cool.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.